Yeah, not bow.
I'm not overly fond of seeing bombs first, just because you can get them farmed. What? I am not your uncle, says the uncle.
What a twist.
Oh my goodness.
And we have, starting out this race with a good 20 rupee drop in Link's house. And we are about to get a dungeon check lately from WinDEU here. And there it is. Crystal at Eastern Palace, green pendant at Hera, other pendant at Desert.
Fun times. Bow and Eastern confirmed.
Okay, let's see what our weapon for the seed is. It is the Fire Rod.
That is a fun one because it does a ton of damage. However, they are going to have to watch their magic consumption.
And the Piece of Heart in the second chest here. WinDEU electing not to get the magic from the two pots, whereas Jenja went ahead and topped off their magic with those guaranteed magic pots.
Yeah, absolutely. With 8 shots, they have 8 shots on their fire rods, so they are definitely going to have to look for some pot drops. I know that there's a few in the back half of Escape on the way to Sanctuary, but there's none along this route. Great RNG by these guards. So just in case you've missed the last, 2 months of this tournament, we're starting off with Uncle guaranteed weapon, so they have to go through Escape, and then after that, all items are then shuffled through the rest of Hyrule. And Uncle will give them something to make sure that they are able to complete this part of the Escape. So they need something that will damage guards and something that will damage the key rat.
Absolutely. That could be anything from what you see now, the Fire Rod, to the Cane of Burna, to 10 bombs. And, the first glove in the Escape sequence. That's a very nice early progression item for our runners.
And I see also a question in chat. Yes, this is the top 128 as well. And whoever wins this round, because this is the third game, will be going up against, if you can remind me again, CD?
Yeah, it's going to be Data World waiting for the winner of either of these two runners.
So the interesting thing to note about this escape sequence is that they don't have a lamp. They may not get a lamp, but they will still be able to see the dark room. This is the only dark room that they will be able to see. So after this is finished, lamp is technically required for all other dark rooms, but obviously the caliber of these racers, they are very well versed in being able to do the rest of the game in the dark.
Indeed, depending on where the lamp may be buried in some of these seeds, the ability to forego that can be quite useful. And we'll see if that technique is required for these runners going forward here, as they're about to take their entrance into the sewers and towards the sanctuary. They're still looking for that elusive bomb drop to get them quick access to the 3 items at the back of the sewers. So we'll see how much these runners decide to farm in hopes of finding that bomb drop. Both these runners going 6-1 in the Swiss stages of this tournament, which allowed them to take part in the race you're seeing now in the first round of the brackets, as we have these runners practically in lockstep with each other entering the sewers.
I'm sure they've had plenty of practice of the escape. All right, just a piece of heart in the vanilla key chest.
And with needing to preserve magic to ensure that that key rack gets incinerated, looks like we're going to see that's pretty much all the farming we're going to see out of WinDEU. We'll see if Jenja decides to take any more additional shots in hopes of finding a bomb.
Yeah, Jenja has 2 more shots. Oh, and missed one. Unfortunate. Well, there's a big 20, which helps with actually paying for bombs. So...
Well, both runners going to be entering the sanctuary without a bomb, but with the power glove, it's going to be a real quick, easy check to turn around and check those 3 items as soon as a bomb is eventually acquired. And of course, there are bombs in the sanctuary.
As you would expect a seed to do.
So
yeah,
with those bombs, Jenja and WinDEU both are going to be turning right around and pushing the grave to check those 3 items. Those 3 chests containing a single rupee and a bottle to go along with the map. So that puts Sick Kid into play during the initial Kakariko pillaging, and we'll see what more we get out of the seed. Jenja doing their dungeon check and finding the single crystal at Eastern and the 2 pendants in Desert and Hera, respectively.
Okay, so WinDEU has decided to go check Lumberjack, whereas Jenja is just going to go straight through. See a 10 arrow tree pull. And the bush crab has single rupees.
And we've got a heart piece in the mushroom position. Let's see what's in the thief's hideout. As we see a second bottle, this one containing a blue potion at the lumberjack ledge. Meanwhile, just an arrow capacity upgrade at the thieves hideout, which is going to get summarily skipped by Jenja.
So just trash in the woods. I see WinDEU was killing off a few of those enemies to try and get a tree pull. I'm sure he'll tree pull this one that's right off the exit to this hideout. Meanwhile, Jenja is going to go down into Blind's hut. We shall see if we have any progression down there.
It looks like hearts in the other tier tree pull from WinDEU. We have flippers for Jenja, some bombs, the capacity to hold more bombs, 10 more, in fact.
All right, well, flippers definitely gets them somewhere.
Yep, that puts a few more Light World locations into play. And if Swamp is required, that's certainly one of the pieces necessary to access the Swamp Palace. So we'll see what's in the well while WinDEU is collecting those same items as well. And we start off with a big 20 here in the well of Kakariko. Let's see what's in the back. Another big 20. And just some arrow capacity and more rupees here in the well.
Well, I'm sure at this point they are going to be trying to farm for Zoro money since they do have flippers, or is going to be in logic as soon as they get that money. Bottle salesman giving them not a whole lot. Is that bombs?
Yep.
Yeah, that's garbage. That's such a ripoff.
And Magic Boomerang in the Chicken Hut. This may, prior to that, there may have been a consideration to purchase bombs, but that may be skipped now. But nope, Jenja will go ahead and top off their bombs with bomb capacity. They will be getting a good 10 bombs for their 50 rupees.
Yeah, you know, that's still a good idea considering they do have a capacity of 20 bombs right now. And it's great that they're able to get sick kids so soon.
Yep, and the Moon Pearl as well. Very nice pickup from the sick kid.
Sick kid giving away grandma's pearls.
And another piece of heart in the tavern. And let's take a peek at what's going to be sitting on top of the shelf in the library. Just some more rupees. Jenja electing to go straight for the race game reward here, not doing the check. So let's see what we're going to be collecting here at the race here. And it is the bow. So much for a third bow and pod. Let's check this reaction from WinDEU. Nope. Yep. And not quite as trolly of a location as in the first chest of the Palace of Darkness, but still, not an immediate find. So with that collected, we have Jenja now on their way to the South Hyrule location, starting with the dam. ₹20 in the front chest. Let's see what will be getting drained from the waters of South Hyrule. And it is the Ether Medallion, the first of our medallion trio here with Ether. That Jenja will be heading towards the mini Moldorm cave. And we'll have to be relying on either bombs or the bow to extinguish these mini Moldorms.
I have to be breathing a sigh of relief that they have this bow.
What's that mini Moldorm trying to get away from his pen? Come on. But Jenja going ahead and taking care of those mini Moldorms was a little bit dicey there at the start, but taken care of all the same. We get the Quake Medallion, a first sword, and I believe a second bottle with the blue potion as well at a mini Moldorm.
All right, so they're looking for either the hammer or another lift upgrade to be able to have access to the Dark World. Still have quite a number of chests that could potentially have those items.
WinDEU electing to employ some archery against those mini Moldorms, and we'll be collecting these 5 items as well, getting his first sword, heart piece, Quake Medallion, heart piece numero dos, and bottle number 2. Meanwhile, Jenja getting the hobo checked right now with those flippers and collects the lift upgrade. That is 2 gloves within 15 minutes for Jenja, and that is Dark World access.
Awesome. Now we'll just have to see how long it takes WinDEU to do that. Now, is WinDEU going to go to Eastern Palace, or is he going to head down?
Looks like Eastern Palace to me.
So it's going to be a while before he gets that lift upgrade. But we'll see what Sahasrahla and Eastern Palace have in store. It's very possible that they will just go right through Eastern, since they do have the bow, they can complete it.
Not only the bow, but they have the fire rod as well. So despite not having the lamp, those dark rooms can be made quite trivial, at least the ones that would cause you the most difficulty in Eastern, for sure. And Sahasrahla having some health and some cash for our runners.
So these runners are going to dodge past the cannonball room here, and then come back up and retrace their steps a little bit to see what's in this chest back here.
Indeed, and we have in the first chest, that is yet another piece of heart. That is one of the 3 items that will be found here in Eastern Palace.
Jenja opting to go through the cannonballs again. WinDEU just went around. I think going through the cannonballs again is slightly faster, but a little bit more risky.
Absolutely here, and without the hook shot, our runners having to do this standard way of accessing the second chest of Eastern, which contains the big key, so that with a little bit of luck, they may not have to check the vanilla big key chest, but we'll just have to wait and see if that is the way these items are shuffled or not.
Both of these runners finishing off Stealthhol's room. Oh, that was actually a really good drop for WinDEU to go back for.
Absolutely.
So yeah, these runners are going to be going into the back.
And the 10 arrow capacity upgrade in the big key chest. Both runners definitely not willing to gamble here, which understandably so. They are going to the vanilla big key chest in the event that there is the 3rd item here, which now this would be out of logic, but without the lamp, but these Eastern Palace Dark Room, no problem for either of these runners.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's one of the first dark rooms to learn.
Addressing chat, the Titan's mitts were located at Hobo, which Jenya elected to check, WinDEU not. So that is the difference in these runners' inventories.
It's a little too early to tell if it's a disadvantage or not. Alright, so Armos Nice is carrying something. Hopefully it's something valuable. So far there's been garbage.
Both runners equipping that fire rod to light up the next room here so they can take care of these enemies and move onward here. And we should be seeing some very close sync here. Oh, WinDEU electing to go ahead and collect the rupees here in Eastern in preparation for the further payoffs of Zora and eventually the Darkroom games as well. So nice pickup there. So with that slight deviation, Jenja will be the first one to enter the Armos Knights fight here. Let's see if we can get the Armos quick kill here, as Jenja is setting it up right now.
It's a little bit of a trick there, but he's been able to take it back anyway. That'll give WinDEU time to catch up. 300 rupees.
Pretty decent bounty for that Armos Knights kill, as Jenja gets their first crystal just past the 20-minute mark, and WinDEU does the same, almost getting a quick kill, but no matter. Very nice, efficient kill of the Armos Knights from both these runners, collecting their first crystal, the only crystal to be found in the light world.
Now WinDEU's going to be heading through to look for these Titans mitts before he can access Dark Worlds. Jenja, let's see where he ends up going. I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to go through to Dark World now.
Certainly appears to be the case, and it does look like WinDEU may be heading towards Lake Hylia here.
Well, he knows he has the flippers, so it's a very, very decent chance that he'll find something.
Actually, this may be an Ice Rod Cave check first before going, but let's see where Jenja now entering the Dark World for the first time, and looks like heading to Skull Woods with that Fire Rod. And we do have Turtle Rock and Thieves Town are your red crystals, and Meyer being the third pendant. The rest being standard crystals.
WinDEU having a tough time in the water. He just keeps getting blasted by the Zoras and the crows.
Needs to be incredibly careful here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Use that red potion.
Burns the red pot in preparation. Understandably so. It would be a horrible waste of time to die here. Let's see what the Ice Rod Cave has. Meanwhile, Jenja collecting the items from Skull Woods here. I did not see the first chest. We see the second chest being the map, and with no small key, Jenja's going to have to go into the bumper room. We see a 50 rupee drop in the Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, that first chest had the master key.
All right, so both items in Skull. Yeah, but the two items in Skull still yet to be found here. We're going to see a small key. It is guaranteed to be a small key in this room. Gibdo's, though, having taking umbrage with this key collection here. There it is.
Oh man, those Gibdos don't normally go up in there. That's horrible. Just having a little Gibdo party back there.
And we see the first of 3 shields in Skull Woods. WinDEU just moments away from getting the Titan's mitts from the hobo. We're going to see a bomb jump here from Jenja with the big key. Very nicely executed, and is rewarded with a key downgrade.
Downgrade. Man, that was a bit rough there, because he had only 2 hearts left, and if his bomb jump went south, or if he got hit by the mini Moldworm on his way to that chest, he would have been having a hard time there. Jenja opting to not go any further into Skull Woods.
Fighter Sword, Green Mail, 5 hearts. That's a tall order for a Mothula fight. So
yeah, that is true.
Can't certainly understandable. We are seeing the waterfall chests here. 1 1/4 hearts out of the waterfall chests, and we're gonna get a Zora check here. I didn't see the Sea House.
It was a blue ruby.
All right. Hook shot at the Zora ledge, so that will be picked up as soon as WinDEU pays his respects to King Zora here.
Ooh,
the flute at the chess game of the Dark World. So we have 2 very critical pickups here from both of our runners in completely different corners of the game.
Both help with routing incredibly.
And those are some
10 arrows.
very expensive arrows.
My goodness, yes. And half magic, which is a pretty decent thing to have.
Let's see where WinDEU elects to go with this newly found hookshot. Meanwhile, Jenja on their way to the digging game.
I would expect WinDEU is now going to head into the Dark World. And interestingly, he has 7 hearts, so he might be more inclined to continue through Skullwoods. Or not. Oh, is he going to go up Death Mountain? Oh, he has a hookshot, so that would be an interesting play to do.
Hookshot, Titan's Mitts. I can certainly see the allure of doing a Death Mountain check now. Jenja getting the Book of Medora on the 21st dig of the digging game. So we'll see Jenja now returning back to the Village of Outcasts. See where Jenja likes to go from here. We have WinDEU navigating the Death Mountain caves here in the dark as well.
Oh my goodness, Jenja, where are you taking this frog? Guess he's going to take him on a world tour. Since he doesn't have the mirror, he's not going to be able to do the easy, quick route with him.
Wants to perhaps show the blacksmith some hype. As Old Man providing some bombs, while Stumpy is providing arrows.
Does he go into Hype Cave with you? I guess we'll find out.
A hookshot was at the Zora Ledge. And taking Jeremiah into the Hype Cave. Let's see what we have. These 5 items. Meanwhile, we get Spectacle Rock being checked. 300 rupees from the initial location. Did not catch Spectacle Rock's contents. Meanwhile, Hype Cave having a heart container, a piece of heart, the cane of Burna, and some bombs.
Yeah, that Spectacle Rock was just a big 20. So the Smith is now in the light world where he likes to be, and he's probably quite happy that Jenja is going to lead him off to his nice little blacksmith house.
Absolutely. We will see what the reward is for doing so shortly here. Meanwhile, WinDEU entering Paradox Cave.
There's a swag net and the single quarter heart.
All rise for the anthem as Jenja is unlocking the flute.
Shovel, bombs. Single green, big 20, and 10 arrows. Not a lot of hype in not hype Paradox Cave.
That looks like a very nicely set up bomb jump from WinDEU there. Very nicely done.
1 heart remaining. He's gonna have to be careful going through Spiral Cave.
Absolutely. That would be a very unfortunate place. Going ahead and burning the blue pot to leave no doubt that will be able to be accomplished here. Checking, and we do have a heart piece on the island in the sky as Jenja is has the ability to flute to Death Mountain and will be collecting the Old Man in reverse.
So Jenja will be following in the footsteps of... Oh no, he won't be because he doesn't have the hookshot. That's going to be...
Indeed.
Back up here, yeah.
And so far, at least in the light world, that doesn't appear to be preventing him from collecting all that much. WinDEU getting his first shield at Spiral Cave. And looks like, I would imagine, we're going to be going into the Dark World, East Death Mountain here rather shortly. Jenja electing to flute to Meyer with the flute. We'll see Meyer being a pendant. Let's see what the medallion would be required if there is indeed something to collect there. It is ether, which is in our runner's possession.
His first check of the Dark World. So far, just bombs and a big 20 in the this back of, well, what's it called? The Meyer shed.
Yes, and so far that be interesting if there was an item necessary there that would make that flute collection required. Thus far, that is not the case, but still Meyer and Checkerboard Cave, which could not be checked without the mirror. So we will see here what's in Super Bunny Cave here for WinDEU.
Jenja now is going to go ahead and go through the Zora area. WinDEU picking up a Master Sword.
Very nice pickup for WinDEU, getting that critical upgrade from Fighters to Master Sword. And Jenja about to get a piece of heart in a heart container here at the waterfall chests. And WinDEU now will be able to take care of the Hookshot Cave. And let's see what Turtle Rock is going to require for entry. It is Quake, so both medallions for both dungeons have been collected by both of our runners.
Bombs in the second chance. Oh, there's the mirror.
And that is a required mirror with Swamp Palace being a crystal. So this early hook shot giving WinDEU some very nice progression.
Yeah, so we need the hammer, the ice rod, and Cane of Samaria. And technically the lamp. Jenja just picked up that hook shot. And is going to go through the rest of the mountain area.
Yep. Echoing WinDEU's steps just moments previously. And it looks like WinDEU now with Master Sword and a few more hearts. Let's see if he elects to go ahead and full clear Swamp in one go. Excuse me, Skullwoods, not Swamp. Words.
Swampwoods?
Skull Palace. All right, as Jenja is hookshotting over, and we're going to see Jenja collect those items here. WinDEU making a beeline for the back of Skull Woods here, working back towards the front, it seems.
This is a common strategy that a lot of these runners have been doing. It seems to have worked out in their favor, because if there happens to be an item right on Mothula, then there's only one other item for them to find.
Indeed, and we do know that one item, there is one item in the back half. There was a shield, if my memory is serving me correctly, in the front.
Discovering the disappointment that is awaiting him here in Paradox Cave.
Meanwhile, WinDEU topping off his health, and looks like going to be utilizing the Ether Medallion to take care of these Gibdo, preserving even more of his magic. Very nice, giving just a little bit more insurance of this Mothula fight.
Yeah, using the Master Sword on Mothula can be quite a tricky task. So, as many fire rod shots as he's able to keep will definitely improve that fight.
Electing to use one of those valued fire rod shots on that Gibto to quickly collect that needed key. And WinDEU entering the Mothula fight with half of his magic reserve. and the Master Sword. Let's see if WinDEU can take care of Mothula here. Some very nice Fire Rod shots to start. Missing on the third, and I believe the fourth one was canceled out. If Mothula takes contact with the spikes, it cancels out the hit that would have propelled him into those spikes. So that makes this Mothula fight rather tricky if Mothula is a little too friendly with those bordering spikes, which appears to be the case in this particular fight, much to WinDEU's chagrin.
And I don't think he has... Oh no, maybe he hasn't used too many of his magic potions.
I do not believe WinDEU has any potions left at his disposal, so this is it for WinDEU here. And Mothula is not being friendly and taking a hit from Mothula, but no matter, WinDEU clutches it out with one more hit left. That defeat coming in not a moment too soon for WinDEU. Very nicely done. That is crystal number 2 for WinDEU at Skull Woods.
I totally missed. Was there an item?
I'm not 100% sure.
Well, it definitely wasn't a small key because he doesn't have a small key on his key count.
It was a heart piece. It was a heart piece, according to chat. Thanks for the assist, guys. And that is the second item of the 2.
Okay.
We know that the front of Skull has item number 2 as that will be a shield upgrade. I was about to see if WinDEU was going to just walk past this. It would actually worked into his favor because this will not be an item. But WinDEU doubling back and will be checking this item here while Jenja is collecting the Hookshot Cave contents. See where Jenja elects to go from here. And it looks like Jenja is going to use that mirror that was just recently collected from the Hookshot Cave right away. Looks like going to be making a dive towards the Ether Medallion and the Tower of Hera. Ether Tablet, I should say.
Yeah, with Tower of Hera being a green pendant, you never know what he might find.
And there's the red shield for WinDEU, and that closes out Skull Woods. Skull Woods has now been cleared, and WinDEU promptly will be exiting, presumably back towards the Village of Outcasts. Meanwhile, Ether Tablet for Jenja. Let's see what it has in store. 300 rupees. And Jenja entering Tower of Hera with the Fire Rod. The basement could be collected, and there's the small key to enter said Hera basement. Let's see if that is the route that Hera would be asking of our runners here, and it seems to be the case with the map. And Jenja is going to go ahead and do the Hera basement here.
Commitment.
While Jenja taking 5, WinDEU collecting half magic from the bar here in the Village of Outcasts.
Oh yes, WinDEU's going to activate that flute that he just picked up in the chess game.
WinDEU utilizing the luxury of being able to mirror right to the flute activation. Jenya not having the mirror at the time, so that is a nice corner WinDEU is able to cut here.
If he so chooses, he will also be able to get Jeremiah the Frog back a little bit quicker.
Looks like maybe WinDEU is going to be collecting some potions here before diving into Thieves Town. Understandable.
It's only 2 hearts. Oh. Maybe he changed his mind.
No, he needs cash.
Oh. Well, he can at least get a free refill from the...
There's the hammer in the big chest of Hera. Jenya diving into the green pendant dungeon, coming up huge.
That was good value.
That is definitely that time investment doing the Hera basement at this point. One might have an argument to question that, but any argument that beforehand will have now been silenced with that hammer pickup. What a find.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, so there he goes. Choldorm is down, or Moldorm is down. What does he give us? Wow, so that hammer is huge for a Jenja.
Absolutely. Any advantage that WinDEU might have enjoyed prior to that, this is now anyone's race now. It's really going to come down to when WinDEU elects to check that green pendant dungeon. It is the green pendant dungeon, so one may be more inclined to lean towards that first if you're doing pendant dungeon checks, but still, that is a rather critical item buried deep in a pendant dungeon. Meanwhile, Jenya is taking the opportunity to check Spike Cave now with the Burnicane and half magic. This will be a trivial check for sure.
Oh my god.
And that is the Cane of Samaria as well.
Wow.
Oh my word.
This is absolutely a value Dark World, or Death Mountain. Man, my words. That
My
is
God,
amazing.
it is Cane in Spike Cave. Along with the hammer, Jenya is well on its way towards towards go mode at this point. Still needing quite a few items, but those are some very important items and some really easy to miss locations at this point.
Yeah. All they need now is Ice Rod. So now Jenya is going to likely go through a lot of the crystal dungeons that he needs to get through, hoping to find this Ice Rod.
Yeah, absolutely. At this point, it's do what you can do at this point, and just hope you find the Ice Rod along the way, and if not, just go from there. Jenya now going to finish off what he started here in Skull Woods. Yep, Ice Rod is all Jenya needs at this point, assuming a certain big key is not sitting on a torch. It could also, or if it's not on Cape Ledge, I suppose. Ice Rod, that is.
They would need to get the cape if that was the case. I was just going to say, those were some really good Gibdo dodges on Jenya's side.
Absolutely. And we see Jenya now entering Mothman Flight with double the magic WinDEU had at his disposal as well. And the blind fight initiated now on WinDEU's side.
All right, Mafiola goes down. WinDEU enters the second cycle of blind. Doing pretty good with the script.
Needing to burn another potion, though, in order to ensure a victory here.
Yeah, you don't want to make any chances here, take any chances here.
And just a big 20 as a reward for Blind's defeat here. That is crystal number 3 for WinDEU at Thieves Town, while Jenya had just collected crystal number 2 from Skull Woods. And we are getting a ped check from Jenya, and it is just pocket change, and Jenya going to heed the advice and move right along.
Well, that's an important check for him to make, because now he knows he doesn't have to go through any of the pendant dungeons.
Certainly de-incentivizes any further pendant dungeon checks for the moment. Jenya going to go ahead and flute towards the pod and Eastern Palace. Well, Eastern Palace already taken care of, so it's just going to be pod in this particular set of checks for Jenya.
He'll be able to turn in the green pendant, which is a very fast turn in for him to do.
Absolutely. Well, WinDEU going to go to the digging game here and be rewarded with the book on, I believe, the 21st dig, if I'm remembering right. Getting some nice rupee drops as a good little refund for his entry fee. Now, if Ice Rod is in this first pod check, I am going to, that's going to be just fitting.
All right, so nothing on Sahazralal, just a big 20.
Jenya waiting for the monkey to appear, and there's Kiki, and we are on our way to the Palace of Darkness for Jenya.
Both runners briefly leading their respective sidekicks along the road. Okay, first chest in pod.
And Jenya giving this chest its just treatment and getting rewarded for a map as such.
What do you think you're doing? Oh, you can do that, okay. So Jenya's gonna be going through the right side, the bow lock side, but he has the bow, so that's no problem at all.
For viewers tuning in and wondering why Jenya gave that chest some aggressive slashes, that chest contained the bow in both of their previous 2 races. I'll see, we have the lamp at K45, so a nice convenience there for WinDEU at the Sacred Grove.
Oh yeah. He's also taking the purple chest around with him. We'll see if purple chest contains anything of significance. WinDEU has a shovel, so he'll be able to check the shovel location as well.
It looks like, though, he is Well, no, he looks like he did remember as he has retained the chest. It's a good thing, because if you were to mirror without the chest, you lose it.
Oh, full heart. That's pretty valuable.
That is the 8th heart, which at this point, health is quite a premium still for both of these runners. Jenya at 9. WinDEU will continue his way towards purple chest. And there's Bombos at the vanilla big key location. Not required, but that it does round out all 3 medallions for runners on Jenya's side. And let's see what we're having for lunch today from WinDEU's perspective. Some love.
Who's also going to be able to do this Bombos tablet check?
Yes, very nicely routed here from WinDEU here as Jenya is continuing on towards what will be a lampless pod. That is silver arrows for WinDEU.
Yes.
That could be that is very likely possibly something that Jenya may not have if Jenya happens to come across the ice rod. So we'll see. That may be a variation in both of these runners here. We'll have to keep an eye on here. Jenya getting the big key out of the harmless hellway before entering the blue rupee room here in the dark.
He's not sure what he picked up.
Well, it's not the ice rod. We know that for sure. Let's see what we have. It's a small key in the leftmost chest here in the blue rupee room of pod. And Jenya will be on their way towards collecting the items in the maze.
I'm just going to check out Hype Cave now. Get Keen of Verna. Another heart container. So there's the compass on Jenya's side. There's one more chest in the very bottom corner. Looks like he's navigating through it just fine.
Yep, there he goes. And it is big 20.
Okay. So we can check the big key chest.
Ooh, this is a really curious decision here from WinDEU, deciding to dive into Swamp without the hammer. This is effectively just a check for one location.
Sometimes it can be hard to remember that the hammer is required in Swamp.
Well, we do know the hammer is located at the big key chest, the big chest of the Tower of Hera. So we will see what we have here in this first location of Swamp. Meanwhile, Jenya on their way towards the Helmosaur King in pod.
Very smartly getting full magic or full heart containers, because Jenya's going to be doing dark rooms.
And just a big 20 in the first Swamp Palace chest. So WinDEU is going to be moving onwards here. Let's see where he elects to go. Meanwhile, Jenya awaiting for the wall to slowly inch its way towards the right to reveal the staircase down to Helmosaur.
So as long as Jenya can get through the first couple rooms here and is able to set up the torches, they'll be able to see the terrapins or the turtles. There it is.
Yes, indeed. A very nice use to be able to not have to do this room in the dark. It is a rather trying experience. Although with the medallions, it wouldn't have been that big of an ordeal, but still nice to be able to do it with the benefit of sight, to be sure. WinDEU, it looks like maybe heading towards Hera, which would be to his benefit at this point. Or this may just, he may be checking Spike Cave first. We will see. No, it does indeed. Looks like he is going to mirror towards the Ether Medallion and a possible Hera check. And down goes the Helmosaur King for Jenya, completing pod and getting a big 20 as well. Now let's see if WinDEU is deterred by having to do the basement, or if WinDEU will see it through.
All right, WinDEU has committed.
WinDEU is going for it, and this will eventually lead him towards the hammer, which is exactly what he needs to be able to progress at this point. Meanwhile, Jenya, having completed a pod, is going to be returning. It looks like we'll be heading towards Thieves Town.
Both of these runners have made very good routing decisions, and it's really hard to tell who's going to come out on top.
Hard to say until this ice rod is discovered. Jenya certainly, with that Hera play earlier on, I would say has the advantage right now. But until we get this ice rod revealed, and whoever collects said ice rod is going to have be pretty much the deciding factor, it seems, at this point. Assuming WinDEU follows up this Hera completion with a Spike Cave check, as we know the Canis Amaria is sitting in there waiting to be collected from WinDEU's side.
So far, no major items have been found in the first part of Thieves Town for Jenya. Just that big 20.
Yeah, I don't recall anything critical being here in Thieves Town in any form or another. That may be just because I wasn't paying close enough attention, but not sure that there's a whole lot to be collected here outside of the required crystal. It will be the second red crystal, though, so it will put the Pyramid Fairy check into play after completion.
Is Turtle Rock the second?
Oh, excuse me. No, I'm looking. I'm sorry. Motula Sprite is playing with me here. Never mind. Forget I said anything in that regard. Very nice kill for WinDEU, getting the green pendant as well. Let's see if WinDEU jumps right into Spike Cave immediately after.
Ooh, that'll be an important play to make. It's not a commonly done strategy though, so yeah.
No, he is not, and that is going to bite him at this point, because that's effectively an orphan spot at this point. And it may be some time before that gets checked now at this point.
Yeah, that's one of those things that it's not a common routing decision to do that. It was amazing that Jenja did do that, and it paid off. On the bright side of things, the cane is not required for anything except for Turtle Rock. So WinDEU will be going back up that way anyway when getting through to Turtle Rock area. That's assuming, of course, that the ice rod is somewhere like on their way in a kind of location.
All right, so Jenya now with blind at his side here, going to check the big key location here. I missed it, whatever it was when WinDEU originally did it. It is just another big 20s.
Because he didn't have the hammer at the time.
He did not have the hammer, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So that may be also on WinDEU's mind at this point as well. Just a big 20, but still, that may be a location that WinDEU checks if the Samaria Cane and Ice Rod elude him for any extended period of time. Meanwhile, Jenya about to initiate the blind fight as WinDEU is entering pod.
Jenya's got some fancy footwork. He takes down blind, gets his crystal, gets his big 20 off the blind. Then he continues on.
Indeed. Well, WinDEU relegated to the right side of pod with that map in the first location. At least it's not a bow.
Gotta think of the positives here, right, CJ?
Yeah, gotta get him where you can find him.
Looks like Jenya is going to go ahead and check this lunchbox, Gary's lunchbox. Oh, and hammer pegs. That is something that WinDEU would not have been able to do either.
And hammer pegs, we have just 50 rupees.
Now, it will be interesting to see if Jenya decides to go into Swamp Palace after dropping off. Or if he'll skip Swamp for now and go to Ice Palace first.
Well, this will likely mean silver arrows for Jenya as well, and I would not be surprised to see a swamp dive from Jenya upon doing this routing here. Jenya going to go ahead and collect that lamp as well out of the Sacred Grove cave here and continue towards delivering lunch. And good recognition from Jenya, getting the shovel location and getting a heart container from said spot. Meanwhile, WinDEU is continuing towards the backside of pod. Does have the lamp, so we'll be able to navigate through these dark rooms with a little bit more speed than Jenya had at the time, but still very nicely done here from both of our runners here as Jenya is on their way towards delivering the lunch and getting, I think it's a piece of heart, but in any case, nothing of consequence.
Yeah, it was just a quarter of a heart piece. And that one dark room down there contained a 5-arrow upgrade. We weren't able to see that on Jenya's side.
Indeed. Jenya now going to the Bombos tablet and will be rewarded with some silver arrows. with Jenya continuing on, not quitting out, this does appear like it's going to be a swamp dive here. And with that mirror quit, that pretty much guarantees it.
Yeah, definitely a good choice in terms of routing. And we'll see if there is anything of importance back here. There are 6 items, so it is a very item-dense location.
Absolutely, and we are looking for a ice rod for Jenya. That is what is on Jenya's shopping list at this point. Do you know the first chest is a big 20, as WinDEU took a dive in there previously, but the remaining 5 items are a complete mystery at this time.
WinDEU's gonna be able to do the turtle room with the lamp, so we'll have a little bit of an advantage. Let's get Okay, so Jenja just picked up a key. It's gonna go through this hammer spot that WinDEU was not able to go through. Got new territory.
WinDEU now facing King Helmasaur to complete his pod run here. "17 hammer shots complete, 1 silver arrow, and down goes King Helmasaur. Very nicely executed from WinDEU, while Jenya collecting a armor upgrade in the southern chest of Swamp Palace.
Okay, so Jenja is going to opt to go through to defeat Argus first, see if any important items turn up back here before going to the left side of the swamp area.
Very typical routing decision when you're just 1 item away from what is likely to be go mode. So in the event that that item is in one of these 4 locations here in the back of Swamp, this is a very nice corner to cut, not having to do left side. And we have a big 20 and the compass to start out with here in the back of Swamp. Looks like WinDEU may be echoing Jenya's footsteps here. Going to go ahead and follow through with the rest of Swamp now that a hammer and hookshot is in WinDEU's possession. And there's the tempered sword for Jenya. So that's a very nice pickup. While not the go mode item that he's looking for, still very nice heading into Argus with the tempered sword, not the master sword.
Not only that, but it really helps for fighting Ganon, because really having to do Master Sword Ganon can be a little bit painful for the first 3 cycles.
As both these runners know, as Master Sword Ganon was their game 2 seed. So yeah, both these runners will be nice to not have to go through that again.
All right, so far they found 4 items. So we'll see if Argus is holding something or not. Either way, they're probably going to have to go into the left side.
Very nice fire rod spins / kill for the second phase of Argus, and is rewarded with a piece of heart.
Using NMG strats on that. If you use 2 fire rod shots and a spin speed, it kills them right away.
Yes, timing on that is very tight, and Jenya executing it perfectly, and will likely be turning right back around to check the left side. No.
Oh. There's only one item left, so he's making a very aggressive gamble here.
Gonna go right for Ice Palace after taking care of Swamp, and we will see if the Ice Rod is fittingly located in the Ice Palace.
Wow, this is definitely an interesting routing decision. So there was a question from chat asking how many people are in the tournament. We started with a Swiss-style race with 512 applicants, and once the Swiss stage finished, we had 128 people for this current round that we're in, round robin style, 3 out of 3.
Yep, we are in the bracket phase of the tournament, with the majority of those of the people in the bracket having qualified through the Swiss stage, which took place over the last 2+ months. So,
yep.
We see bombs in the first Ice Palace chest for Jenya. Meanwhile, WinDEU making the dive towards the back. We will see if WinDEU elects to check left side upon completion of the Argus fight. Very nice 2-for-1 Stalfos Knight kill there for Jenya, on their way towards a potential bomb jump here.
Okay, so he's not going to do the bomb jump, which is fine because he needs to full clear anyway.
Yep, and with Canis Amari, it is certainly not necessary in order to access Cold Stare. So. Small key in the Freezor room for Jenya. And 1 silver arrow is all that WinDEU needs to take care of Argus and get the Swamp Palace Crystal and a Piece of Heart. Now, let's see if WinDEU immediately goes right back for left side or elects to move on to greener pastures here.
Oh wow, both of them have decided not to go back there.
WinDEU stocking up on his potions here, and let's see where he elects to go from here. Looks like a similar Ice Palace play.
Jenja finding the map in the big key chest. Having a little bit of difficulty in this room here.
Yeah, without boots, these ice physics can really play with you here. As we said, Jenya on their way back upwards Ice Palace at this point. Meanwhile, WinDEU about to check the first chest here and get some bombs. And Jenja now at the eastern portion of Ice Palace here. Let's see what these three locations have in quick succession here for Jenja. Jenja, of course, certainly looking for the ice rod here. And there's another small key for Jenja. Let's see what we have here in the vanilla big key location of Ice Palace. The compass. WinDEU electing to do the IPPJ and executing it very nicely, moving onwards from there. And meanwhile, Jenja is going to be collecting a piece of heart.
Okay, so one item remaining on Cold Stare.
Some very, very different routing here from both of our runners here in the Ice Palace. Ice Palace certainly has the most possibilities for variations of routing here with the various intricacies of the Ice Palace bomb jump and whether or not to use a small key in certain locations. You can route this thing any number of ways.
Very confusing dungeon.
Jenja dropping down to Cold Stare, using bombos to activate the fight here, and let's see if it can be corralled, and very nicely done by Jenja, getting 3-for-1 slashes here, and what a textbook Cold Stare kill. Very nicely done by Jenja, and just big 20 as a reward for that well done kill.
So, Crystal dungeons are now done except for Turtle Rock. What to do now?
Interesting to note, Jenja was practicing the Cold Stare fight with green mail and just the hammer, so I'm sure a tempered sword fight was of no issue for Jenja if that's what he was preparing for. So let's see where Jenja decides to go from here now that Ice Palace is done and dusted, going back to the Desert Palace location and is going to warp to Mire, presumably a checkerboard cave. I'll be very curious to see if he elects to dive Mire at this point. Light World Desert Palace locations are all still out there as well, so that may be what's next on Jenja's to-do list here after Checkerboard Cave, which we show has just the blue boomerang. See what we have on the ledge, just a bomb capacity upgrade, which will be foregone here from Jenja. Jenja going to take a dip into the Desert Palace here. Let's see if any of these two locations of Desert Palace can be quickly obtained here. Let's first check and see if we are boots locked here. There is the small key on the torch, so completing desert would require the boots. Now, it is a pendant, so that likely is not the case. But let's see, we do have a compass here. So that is Desert Palace. That is all that can be done with no boots thus far for Desert Palace. Let's see if we get an Agonist Cave check here from Jenya.
Very good. WinDEU gets the corner kill as well.
Yep, very good Cold Stare fights from both of our runners here. Not sure how how Cold Stare evaded that final slash, but no matter. WinDEU taking care of Ice Palace as well, and we will see where both these runners elect to go. It looks like Jenya Jenya checking the Ice Rod Cave.
He hasn't gone there yet. Forgot about that. It's usually such an early check.
Good recognition from Jenya, recalling that was not checked. And let's see, is WinDEU going to be checking the north side Dark World locations? This looks like a pedestal check from WinDEU.
Oh yes, he hasn't gone in there yet, so he'll be not disappointed. I guess he'll be slightly happy to know that it's only Couch Cash.
And it looks like we may be getting a TR dive here from Jenya.
Yeah, this is about the time when it's good to go down there. Or up there, I guess. It's either that or dipping into Misery Mire. And if I remember correctly, Misery Mire only has 2 items.
Indeed it does. And it's a lot of work to get those 2 items more often than not. So understandable to keep Misery Mire saved until the very last possible opportunity with T-Rock, including the Mimic Cave with a full 6 items. Now we need Ice Rod to be able to defeat Trinex, but there's a very significant chance that Ice Rod could be one of those spots. And it looks like WinDEU is going to go ahead and ensure that the Ice Rod is not in the big chest of Thieves Town. We know it is certainly not, but WinDEU isn't privy to that knowledge. So going ahead and checking this one-off orphan location. Little does he know that the one out-of-the-way location he needs to check is the Spike Cave.
₹300 in the first chest.
And the Thieves Town Hellway living up to its name for WinDEU, as Jenya is about to utilize the Fire Rod and the Hookshot here to light up these torches and quickly get into the roller room. There's the big and small key for Jenya here in the roller room. And roller room without boots, proving very annoying for Jenya, taking a couple hits from those rollers, but progressing onwards now towards the Chain Chomps.
there's a key there.
Mm-hmm.
You're going through hammer pegs, realizing it's only 50 rupees.
And when you're going to head towards the northern locations here, Magic Cape Ledge and the Graveyard Ledge are in play at this time.
And potentially going through to the Catfish area is a possibility as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's just a piece of heart on the Bumper Cave Ledge. So Cape is not required. Up a piece of heart in the vanilla big key chest.
Just some rupees at the Graveyard Ledge. So when you're continuing on here, let's see if he combos this towards the Catfish and Pyramid. As Jenya is entering the Mimic Cave here, WinDEU looks to be checking the Pyramid Ledge first. Just another piece of heart in Mimic Cave, so Jenya will progress further into Turtle Rock at this point, still looking for that ever-elusive Ice Rod, which is not a Pyramid Ledge, as WinDEU has discovered that to be just an arrow capacity upgrade.
Small key in the big chest.
And just the map for Turtle Rock there, prior to descending downwards into the lone dark room of Turtle Rock. Jenya now progressing towards the laser bridge here. There's the small key remaining. Arrow capacity. Big 20. And a heart container. Ice Rod not at Turtle Rock. WinDEU now going to check the Mire Shed here. Jenya clearly not pleased at how difficult this Ice Rod is making itself to be found. And we are going to get the Mire Dive from Jenya. And electing not to throw that bird into the water, Jenya moving right onwards into Meyer, using the hook shot in order to be able to progress. You need either the hook shot or the boots to be able to bonk past that initial pit. So Jenya now onwards to the second room here, clearing out the enemies of this room to progress. Very nicely done with sword beams. Oh, Jenya did toss. I'm sorry for missing that. My bad. I mean, how could you not after that setup? And there's the ice rod for Jenya in Misery Mire. Jenya now attaining most likely go mode at 1 hour 31 minutes. Unless a certain big key is in a certain heated location, Jenya now at go mode.
Let's hope they don't need to look for these boots.
So WinDEU on the path as well to getting the ice rod. Unfortunately, WinDEU does not yet have the Cane of Samaria, which is in Spike Cave. So even once he finds this ice rod, he's still not going to attain go mode, as he would need to recall Spike Cave before enjoying the same state as Jenya. All right, and with Jenya now, with the ice rod, is now doubling back into a Turtle Rock to take care of Trinex. That is the last thing Jenya will need to complete this and be able to enter Ganon's Tower, where we will see whether the boots will be required once and for all or not. Not many locations for those boots to be located, even if they are required. So even if the big key is resting on that torch, very most likely that those boots will be found in Ganon's Tower anyway, but that does remain to be seen. And WinDEU is going to now, it looks like, check the left side locations of Swamp in the hopes that the ice rod is located, or excuse me, not the ice rod, but the Cane of Samaria is located. Okay, and Jenya now entering the Trinex fight here shortly, while WinDEU is navigating back into Swamp here. Let's see if this Trinex fight goes as smoothly as it likely will for Jenya here. And there's the first phase of Trinex down for Jenya, entering phase 2 here. A couple of well-placed spin slashes. Oh, does not get the spin slash off here, but needs to be a little careful now. But some very nice navigation there, and Trinex is down for Jenya. Now collecting the 7th crystal of the match for Jenya, will make his way towards Ganon's Tower. And although it may have been rather done a little bit too early, feel free to go ahead now and get your guesses in 1 to 22 as to where you believe Ganon's big key will be located here. Let's forget the fact that it was initiated about 5 minutes ahead of time. Yeah. Feel free to put in your guesses. If you are a subscriber to any of the Speed Gaming channels or have donated at least 250 bits, you are eligible to be on our leaderboard, keeping track of guesses throughout the course of this tournament.
Do you have a guess, Jenja? Or sorry, do you have a guess there, CD?
Jenya has a guess. I'm sure it's going to be 1. I'm going to go with, let's go with 13.
13, all right. I'll go with 15.
Chest number 1, a small key, heart container at chest number 2. And with that small key, we have a right side check for Jenya. So we are not going to immediately know what are the contents of the torch until this right side is cleared.
Looks like it was just a piece of heart in that big key chest.
Chest number 3, a heart container, 10 arrows in chest number 4, 50 rupees chest number 5, and an empty bottle in 6.
Just gonna go through the roller room to pick up this key and mirror out, go to the left side. All right, everybody, it's our moment of truth. Okay. Big 20 on the torch.
All right, so checks 8 through 11 coming up here for Jenya here, past the torch. Chest number 8, small key. Chest number 9, 20 rupees. There's the magic cape at chest number 10. And there's your big key at chest 11. Location 11 is your winner for the big key location for Ganon's Tower.
So nobody actually guessed 11. However, 10 was guessed by Ravis10. So congratulations, Ravis10.
Meanwhile, WinDEU collecting the Cane of Samaria from Spike Cave once, finally, from WinDEU's perspective. Unfortunately, that coming a little too late for WinDEU, as Jenya is about to enter the gauntlet now of Ganon's Tower. And congratulations to Ravis10. Very nice guessing. That puts you to 12 wins on our leaderboard. Very impressive.
Yeah, that puts you up to first place there. Jenja going through the gauntlet, being able to get through those stealthos quite quickly.
Utilizing the fire rod here to progress through the gauntlet. Very nicely done here. A very nice final room, heading to Landmo 2 in no time at all.
That hitbox on the fire rod, it sort of ricocheted off the wall and managed to hit the horse guy.
And a very nice one cycle of Landmo 2 with those silver arrows. Very impressive from Jenja.
It's gonna be a bit of a tricky one without the boots on Jenja's side. Manages to get through it and is now going through the torch room.
Yep. Who knows where those boots were located? They could be in these upcoming chests here for all we know. But no matter, Jenja progressing through the torch room and ascending upwards towards the latter half of this Ganon's Tower ascension. Meanwhile, WinDEU getting the big and small key out of the roller room here as he is progressing through Turtle Rock here. Unfortunately, a little bit behind Jenja here. This is certainly Jenja's race and subsequently series to lose. And we do see a piece of heart at the pre-Moldorm 2 chest of Ganon's Tower here for Jenja. And here we have Moldorm 2. Just a spin and a swipe is all that will be needed to take care of Moldorm here. And down he goes. And just a big 20 to round out Jenja's collection for this seed.
Yeah. I imagine he was probably looking for boots to help with this room here in particular, because this is a really easy one to set up if you can get.
Absolutely. And Agaddon 2 now starting for Jenja, just under an hour and 45 minutes. And that looked like a double there for Jenja. Very nice. Should be 3 hits away here from completion. There's 1 and 2. One more should do the trick. And down goes Aghanim 2 for Jenja. Jenja just a Ganon fight away from taking this race. WinDEU picking up that small key, so at this point he can just go right for Trinex at this point in Turtle Rock. Meanwhile, Ganon fight is starting here for Jenja. Onwards to phase 2. Jenja using that blue potion to top off his hearts. And going to go ahead and equip the Magic Cape to ensure that he can take care of phase 2 in one go here.
managed it. Doesn't quite get him in time to avoid those fire bats. So he's now in phase 3.
Okay, and with silver arrows and half magic torch glitch, not critical, but still would be nice to get, but all the same, 3 silver arrow strikes away from Ganon falling here. Jenya setting it up for a possible double or triple here. There's 1, there's 2, almost gets the 3rd, but just 1 more shot away. And there it is, down goes Ganon. For Jenja23, Jenja will take this race, take game 3, and win this series 2-1, and will be moving on to the second round of the brackets. GG to Jenja23. Jenja finishing with an official SRTV time of 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 15 seconds. And spam those emotes.
Overall, fantastic execution on Jenja's side. WinDEU is just heading in to try next fight.
See if we can't get Jenja in here shortly. And we are joined by our victor, Jenja. GG, and congratulations on winning this race and progressing to the next round of the brackets.
Yo, what's up? Thank you very much, man.
So that Hera play, huh?
Hera play. I honestly, like, I mean, I don't know, did he not? I guess he did not go into Hera immediately.
Not as quickly as you did. The real deciding factor was not really the Hera play, but what happened after Hera play, whereas you immediately turned around and went to Spike Cave. Spike Cave went unchecked for a considerable length of time for WinDEU, and that definitely opened up a considerable gap that led to this victory for you.
Yeah, I didn't think that was that big of a play, to be honest. Like, I didn't feel too ahead. Like, I felt comfortable with my routing and my decisions. So I didn't do any crazy plays, maybe up until TR, but at that point I only have, I think, Misery Mire, a couple, like just 2, I think 2 single chest locations left, and then I decided to go into TR for the Ice Rod, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. Once I go back to Misery Mire, find the Ice Rod there, I'm not really sure where I am. So, yes, it turned out pretty good. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy. I mean, no boots.
Yeah, bootless for your opponent as well. I would imagine maybe somewhere in Ganon's Tower potentially. Lord knows. But yeah, this was a nice leisurely stroll through Hyrule for this race.
Oh yeah. I mean, we had, I don't know at which point I only needed the Ice Rod anymore, but it was like probably like 45 minutes into the run. So yeah, I was just spent basically like 40 minutes or so, or 45 minutes just looking for the Ice Rod, which is always the Ice Rod is obviously the best item you can ever have as the last item, because it just can literally be anywhere. And yeah. But I mean, better than our last 2 races, the first 2 ones. Yeah, I was glad that I found the bow early.
Yeah, definitely appreciated your slashing after finding that map in Pod. That was certainly checking the first 2 races last Sunday. Easy to tell what caused that reaction. I was almost expecting a bow start, but we had some bow race game, blind race game check, by the way, leading to bow. That there's some irony there, I suppose. But in any case, yeah, not a 3rd bow at Pod in a row, unfortunately.
I mean, usually I'm not that kind of guy that, you know, thinks that, oh man, I have to go into Pod immediately now, no matter what. But I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get tricked the 3rd time. No. But it turned out pretty well overall. So.
Absolutely. Here, window echoing your routing in GT, checking right side after collecting that small key. Not going to find the big key on the torch, just some 20 rupees, and moving onwards to eventually finding the big key in chest 11 for you, depending on when WinDEU checks that bottom right chest.
That was actually another thing with the. I mean, obviously, you never think that you need the boots, but I don't know, for those who watched, the second race that we did actually had the big key on the.
That's right.
The torch,
yes.
And the boots were in Ganon's tower. We were not in go mode at that point. But that was another thing that was like, yeah, maybe history repeats itself again, but no.
It's just a slight nod in that general direction, of course, as WinDEU now collecting the big key and will make his ascension to Ganon's, to Agatu, and completing the seed. Much respect to WinDEU for seeing this through. Clearly is aware of the result. He definitely paused after completing Turtle Rock there, probably to give you your just congratulations, but is going to see this through to its finish. Trying to think back on any other particular interesting notes on the seed. It was a bombless escape. Of course, bombs were in the sanctuary just to give you that perfect little early little troll there for you. Luckily, the power glove was there, which led to an easy check of those 3 items, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, the first 2 seeds that we played, they were so similar. It's insane, really. Like, not only that the bow was in the first chest and pot, but also both were
bomb starts.
Bomb starts in both seeds. If you just didn't sequence break anything, both seeds, you would have pretty much been in a much better spot. And I mean, it was nice that it was just a little bit of fresh air here. But I mean, obviously, I want to say like Fire Rod is probably the worst you can have in terms of collecting bombs, just because of the sheer amount of magic it uses up. But having already found the Power Glove, I didn't bother too much because you can always just go back there.
Indeed. Yeah, that or the Burn of Cain really restricts your farming opportunities for sure in this standard mode variation. So lane mode 2 underway for WinDEU. 2 cycling, very nicely done. And WinDEU well on his way towards Moldorm and Agatu. So as WinDEU is putting the finishing touches on this race, you are going to advance to round 2, and you will be facing Data World in round 2 of this bracket phase. Any thoughts or any initial impressions going into that series?
That's good to know. Actually, I haven't checked at all. So okay, Data World. Well, I mean, no matter at which opponent you get at this point, you know that nobody is in here because they can't play the game or because they're just lucky. So obviously, it can always be over every single round. So just trying to make it as far as possible, having tons of fun with this, and yeah, obviously always trying the best. See how far we can go.
Yep. Very good mindset to have, for sure. And WinDEU having similar difficulty with this penultimate room of Ganon's tower without boots. Those mini Helmosaurs are on you really fast without boots. And Aga 2 now on the way for WinDEU. And going out in style, that is the swag net for WinDEU. That's the way to close this thing out, I think.
Can definitely appreciate a good swag net.
Let's get the right angle.
There's 3 hits here. And immediately getting a triple upon ditching the net. So very nicely done from WinDEU. That's Aga 2 down, and just needs to take care of Ganon to see this thing through to conclusion.
Got a quarter heart.
With the gold sword, it's only going to take 8 slashes to go through each phase, and ooh, very nice evasion of that bat with the cape there, and is on to phase 3.
Where was the battle sword?
I'm not sure, actually.
I mean, if he did the same thing and then me in GT, it must be either in Mire or the left item in Swamp. I don't know. Maybe I have Pyramid, Catfish, and Graveyard Cliff left. And it must be in either of those. Oh well.
And down goes Ganon for WinDEU, taking a runner-up in this race and in the series, finishing with an official SRTV time of 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 12 seconds. Get your GGs for WinDEU. Let's see if we can't get WinDEU in here as well. And we are joined by WinDEU. GG's on completion. Unfortunately, just a little bit behind Jenja here, but GG's all the same, and congratulations on making this far in the tournament. Oh, let's give it 1 second for WinDEU to get set up here. And while we're waiting for WinDEU to join us here, I'd like to let you know that there are a number of races underway right now and upcoming today as we are closing out the first round of this tournament. Going on right about now, we have I'm Hugh Bliss and Terror underway on Speed Gaming 5, and about to get started later this hour is going to be Seven Sids and Lone Pile as well over on Speed Gaming. Later this afternoon, we have Zahil and Male on Speed Gaming 3. I also like to take this opportunity to thank our tracker, Dragon Strike 1988. Thanks for keeping things in check. And also shout out to my co-commentator, B-Links. Thanks for the assist this morning. It's been a pleasure. All right, looks like we are now joined by our runner-up in this race, WinDEU. WinDEU, good go at it, man, but congratulations on making it through the Swiss stage and cutting it as close as possible here in the first round.
Thanks. Is my mic good, by the way, or?
Yeah, sound great.
Okay, awesome. It was a fun scene, I think.
No bow and pod, but can't get 3 in a row, I guess. But yeah, race game is not bad.
Yeah, I had mixed feelings when I saw it. I'm like, oh, well, no hat trick, I guess. But on the plus side, that's out of the way. So.
Yeah, as I was discussing with Jenya, the real swing in this came at Spike Cave. Jenya, after completing a Hera rather early, in fact, went straight to Spike Cave and got that Cane of Samaria and was pretty much just ice rod from go mode for a good 30 to 40 minutes, I want to say. Meanwhile, Spike Cave eluding your routing for a bit of time, and that finally got your go mode once that was found. So that was pretty much the decider in this particular race.
Yeah, I figured. Usually Spike Cave is on my mind at some point if I don't manage to check it. Oh yeah, we did find Kane, so it is in logic. So, yeah, other than that, we just ice rod that was giving me trouble. I thought left side swamp was my last place to check. Spike Cave was out of my mind at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw a full heart, I'm like, wait, this isn't right.
Yeah, that's when the panic sets in. I know that feeling all too well, unfortunately. Both of you guys electing to do, clear Argus and then move on. Both of you did an initial, well, not initial for you, but both did left side ignored until later. That was rather interesting. Now, you also, you did a dive for Swamp, without the hammer. Was that just a gamble on your part, or what was going through your mind at that point?
Yeah, I knew to beat Swamp and 3 other dungeons or so, Pod, Ice, not sure what else, but yeah, there were a few dungeons that I just flat out couldn't beat, and I was right there, still looking for the hammer. So I figured it's not a huge loss, and if it pays out, it is huge.
Absolutely, yeah. Hookshot or hammer being there is a rather amazing find if that is the case. But yeah, forgetting that there was still Kane out there floating around. Your options were definitely limited at that point, to be sure. But in any case, it was a very, very entertaining race to watch, and it was a pleasure to see you guys play through this decider.
Yeah, thanks. It was a fun race. I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There was one weird thing that happened to me in the gauntlet. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the BMOS beams just didn't spawn. Like, it tried firing, but no beams came out. So I don't know what that was about. I've never seen that before.
Just well-programmed game. I mean, come on.
I'd like to know how to replicate it because that could be useful for just not getting sniped all the time.
No kidding. Yeah, that would trivialize the gauntlet quite a fair bit, especially that third room. Yikes. I didn't actually catch it at the time. The chat made a comment, and I wasn't 100% sure what it was referring to, but yeah, I'll need to go back and take a look at that. That would be an interesting thing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it happens, but it has happened to me quite frequently, and I've not been able to really replicate it. It's just sort of a random event that happens. I don't know why.
Well, time to dive in the lab and get that figured out, I guess. Jenja, you will be moving on to face Data World in round 2. WinDEU, this is the end of your tournament. I can only empathize with a round 1 bounce out. Any general feelings on this tournament, and any comments for you? As this is your last race that we'll be enjoying your play.
I mean, I've enjoyed it from start to finish, from beginning of Swiss to first round brackets. So I'm pretty ecstatic that I made it to the brackets. Like I'm happy about that. For sure. And I'm just gonna enjoy watching from the sidelines here. I've been checking out quite a few of these races.
Absolutely. Plenty more to come here, as we are only in the first round of this 128-man bracket. There's at round 2 and on, that's going to be a total of 64 matches, including the third place match. So plenty of rando yet to come here on Speed Gaming and the ALTTP Randomizer channels. Any final thoughts or comments from either of you before we go ahead and put a bow on this one?
Not really. I mean, thanks for the race. I'm sure we'll meet again in one of the next tournaments.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just GG and good luck on your future matches.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks again,
Thank
gentlemen.
you guys for commentating, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been an honor and a pleasure, truly. B-Links, any final thoughts before we go ahead and put this one?
Oh, just a huge congratulations. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you for the awesome commentary, CD.
Oh, it's been truly a pleasure, and looking forward to accommodate some more with you and others going forward. And maybe this time time the Gannon's Tower guessing game more appropriately. Anyways, thanks again to our tracker, Dragon Strike 1988. Thanks again for your tracking, and thanks to you, any of you still watching. We wouldn't be having this without you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Give these runners a follow; they most certainly deserve it. And once again, plenty of races to continue on today and tomorrow with the conclusion of round 1. So for B-Links, I've been CDV. Y'all play hard, keep jamming, and we'll see ya.